Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the FPL Affairs podcast, the podcast that strips back and lays bare our season-long love affair with FPL. In this video, the FPL Affairs Swan, aka the Differential King on the All in Football FPL show, shares with you the players who he believes will be this week's Differential Kings. How many will there be? Do you own any of them? Has he missed any? Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for all of our content, and ring that bell to be notified of each piece of new content we release. Anyway, enough of my small talk. Barry, get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He's scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Saka! That is a diamond of a goal!
Hello everyone, it's me, the All in Football FPL show, the Differential King, Barry, and also the FPL Affairs Swan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on this theme of me being on my own, talking about differentials and budget players that we can focus on throughout the season. So this episode is going to focus on Differential Kings for Game Week 2. So I've picked a handful of players that I think will perform and might be worth getting into your team. So hopefully you like that. But before we get cracking into that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk for you about obviously the budget midfielders that I touched upon last episode. So obviously I picked 20 and obviously I picked one from each team and 7 of them performed. So obviously Rice obviously got an assist, Jorginho Rutter got one, Wilson got an assist, Reinders was incredible, Kudos got 2 assists, and Doy got a goal, and Adringa got an assist. So, and obviously a few others didn't play. Obviously Elliott hasn't got his move yet, Damsgaard didn't play, and Dango has now gone to Brentford. So keep an eye out on that transfer there. So my top 5 budget ones, 3 out of 5 performed. As I mentioned, Reinders was my top pick and he looked incredible, getting a goal and an assist. Surprised he didn't get bonus points, but hey, I don't understand the bonus point structure. I don't think most people do. So with that, Kudos also got 2 assists and he looked frightening down that wing. And also Jorginho Rutter won the penalty for Matt O'Reilly to dispatch. So my Differential Kings for Game Week 2 is, I've gone for a couple of Sunderland boys that I think will do really well. I was impressed obviously how Sunderland played. They played counter-attacking football against West Ham. West Ham obviously was going forward quite a lot in the first half, and then obviously Sunderland hit them very impressively on the counter-attack. And obviously Meander was obviously a main part of that, being obviously the focal point up front, obviously holding up the ball and linking up play with Adringa and Talib, the other winger. But I was most impressed with Diarra at 0.1% owned. His box to box, his energy, his shooting ability as well. He got the highest in the game for expect XG. For like a box-to-box midfielder, that's even with the 2 other players on screen, Adinga and Meander. So for me, I think he's going to be a one to watch against Burnley away. So I'm hoping that Alex, the self-proclaimed FPL guru, hasn't jinxed me and it's going to be a boring game, 0-0 or a 1-0. But I've gone for Sunderland to beat them quite comfortably, maybe a 2 or a 3-0 like they did against West Ham. My next player to look at is Odegaard. 3.7% owned. He was in our differential 5-a-side teams against Leeds. Obviously, yes, Leeds did win against Everton at home, but they are away, and it's obviously Arsenal's first game at home this season. So I'm expecting big things from them because they didn't really perform that well against Man United. Man United were the better team, and to me, they lost. But with that, obviously, the stats that I've got is Odegaard was the second highest for expected assists, and it was my mate who we don't talk about, Bruno, was the highest in that game. So for me, it was Odegaard that wanted the ball, getting on it, trying to obviously create something, a bit like what Tanaka was for Everton, against Everton for Leeds. So for me, Odegaard is going to be a player that I think is going to at least get an assist or getting a goal in this game coming up. So Bournemouth, I've gone for two players. Obviously, Semenyo got obviously the limelight, but these two are not a bad entourage, to be honest, to have in the backup. So for me, Tavernier at 0.5% owned, he looked good again. He got some good stats as well. He was the third highest XG. He was only behind Semenyo and Ekikite. So for me, at 0.5% owned and an attacking midfielder, I think it's definitely worth obviously looking at, especially against Wolves, who looked obviously off the ball really against Man City, but Man City were incredible and Reinders obviously ran the show. So maybe Tavernier or Brooks could run the show like what Reinders did. So for me, Tavernier is definitely a must have it to be a differential if you wanted to go from that. And also Brooks as well. He had two shots inside the box. Unfortunately, they were blocked, but he was getting in the box and getting them shots off. So for me, if you want someone who's going to come in off the flank and maybe even get an assist like he did for Semenyo, then obviously he's a good option at 0.2% owned. And them pair are cheap as well. So if you need obviously a budget enabler, then obviously there you go. There's two right there for you. And also, he got two successful dribbles as well out of three. So obviously Brooks is obviously nimble on his feet. So regarding Chelsea, it's unsure, obviously, the rotation risk that might obviously occur with Gittins and Neto. But obviously, them pair, I thought they did enough in the Palace game. Yes, it finished 0-0, but Gittins obviously got 100% pass success. So yes, it might have been minimal, but he obviously had a few in the final third as well. So keep an eye on that. He might obviously get himself an assist or maybe a potential goal going forward against West Ham away, who looked shambolic against Sunderland. So he could be someone to look at, and obviously he's below 1%. Neto is obviously another one. Obviously had a good back end to the season, a good Club World Cup. So I think he's going to be a good one. And also he got the highest expected assists in the Palace game at 0.36. So obviously he is worth obviously having a little look and obviously might come up with the goods, hopefully for them João Pedro owners who blanked, and also them Palmer owners like myself who didn't really achieve the heights that I thought they was going to get. Also, Enzo Fernandez obviously had a really good Club World Cup. He is like a mainstay in that Chelsea team, so he's going to get the minutes, but is he going to get his Club World Cup form or his form against Palace? So fingers crossed he does one of them, and obviously we'll see and have a nice little recap going forward into next week. So thanks for listening, and hopefully you've took some notes into this and thinking I might get some of these differentials. So if I've missed any, comment, leave me some messages, and we'll review them obviously next week. So thank you and bye for now.
So how can you get in touch? Where can you find us? Our email address is lowercase fplaffairs@gmail.com. On X, our user handle is @FPL Facebook, the group link is in our description on the YouTube video channel, and alternatively, you could search the Facebook group for FPL Affairs. We should pop straight up. Our YouTube channel is /@FPL Affairs, and the Spotify links are generally found at the bottom of the video, or on Spotify, you could search up FPL Affairs. There may still be time to join our leagues if you haven't already. The Classic League code is 12RRCG, or the Classic code is lowercase I6NQNB. Unfortunately, the head-to-head league is now closed as the season has started. Thanks for that, Barry. I'm trying not to be Newcastle biased, and I know they won 3-0 last week, but 3 of your 9 are Sunderland players? Really? Although, to be fair, trying to get my sensible head on, my ender was a great scorer last season, great goal last week, and could be tempting for that cheap third forward option. Other than that, I really like the Odegaard pick and the Neto and Enzo ones, although them for 90 minutes is questionable. But if they can bring their performances from the Club World Cup back, then they will be very useful differentials. Anyway, all that's left to say is keep your FPL affairs under wraps until the deadline. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.